Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the captivating and glamorous world of daytime drama. Today is a beautiful day to unravel the latest twists, turns, and explosive secrets that are about to rock Los Angeles. We have an incredible lineup of shocking revelations and corporate maneuvers to discuss, so let us jump straight into the heart-pounding developments awaiting our favorite characters. The sprawling, glamorous corridors of Forrester Creations have always been a battleground for ambition, legacy, and creative supremacy, and the upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful airing on Thursday, August 20th, 2026, promise to elevate this corporate warfare to unprecedented heights. At the center of this impending fashion revolution is R.J. Forrester, a young man who has recently proven that he possesses not only his father's undeniable eye for design, but also a ruthless, calculating edge when it comes to securing his family's dominance. Following the shocking and highly publicized defection of Hope Logan Spencer to Katie Logan's rival fashion house, a massive, gaping void has been left in the Forrester portfolio. The iconic hope for the future brand, which for years served as the company's primary connection to the younger, socially conscious demographic, is effectively dead in the water. RJ, recognizing this critical vulnerability in his family's empire, is not content to simply sit back and watch Logan Creations steal their thunder. Instead, he is actively formulating a bold, aggressive counter-strategy designed to reclaim the youth market and reassert Forrester Creations as the undisputed king of the fashion industry. To execute this ambitious vision, RJ knows he cannot operate in isolation. He needs a seasoned, fiercely talented partner who understands the intricate mechanics of haute couture and ready-to-wear fashion. Enter Zende Forrester Domings, a designer whose immense talent has frequently been overshadowed by the relentless drama surrounding the Forrester and Logan families. Zende has been languishing in a state of profound professional frustration, having poured his heart and soul into a brilliant collection for Hope for the future, only to watch it be unceremoniously shelved when Hope abandoned the company. The psychological toll of this rejection has left Zende hungry for validation and desperate for an opportunity to step out of the shadows and command the spotlight he so richly deserves. RJ, possessing a keen understanding of Zen's fragile ego and burning ambition, approaches his cousin with a proposition that is as audacious as it is brilliant. This is not merely a collaboration. It is a lifeline for Zen's stalled career and a chance for both young men to cement their legacies within the cutthroat world of Los Angeles fashion. The pitch RJ delivers to Zende is a masterclass in corporate maneuvering and visionary branding. He proposes the creation of an entirely new youth demographic line, one that completely erases the lingering ghost of Hope Logan and establishes a fresh, vibrant, and undeniably Forrester-centric identity. But a fashion line is only as strong as the muse who inspires it, and RJ has already selected the perfect face for this new endeavor, Electra Forrester. Electra has recently amassed a massive, fiercely loyal following among younger consumers through her innovative and wildly successful jewelry designs. Her aesthetic perfectly captures the zeitgeist of the modern generation, blending classic Forrester elegance with a rebellious, contemporary edge. RJ passionately argues that elevating Electra from a jewelry designer to the lead visionary and brand ambassador of a comprehensive fashion line is the ultimate strategic move. It keeps the talent strictly in-house, capitalizes on her existing popularity, and presents a united, impenetrable Forrester front to the watching world. However, underneath RJ's polished corporate pitch lies a deeply personal and potentially toxic ulterior motive. The audience is acutely aware of the intense, volatile romantic history between Electra and Will Spencer. Following Will's violent outbursts and his catastrophic physical altercation with Eric Forrester at the Bikini Bar, Electra made the agonizing decision to permanently sever ties with the Spencer heir. RJ, who has been waiting in the wings and actively capitalizing on Will's downfall, sees this new fashion line as the perfect mechanism to inextricably bind Electra to him. By positioning himself as her professional savior and creative partner, RJ is systematically isolating Electra from any lingering Spencer influence and cementing his romantic dominance over her. Zende, while perhaps sensing the underlying personal dynamics at play, is primarily focused on the creative salvation this project offers. The prospect of designing a flagship collection, free from the constraints of the hope for the future legacy, is an intoxicating proposition that Zende will find nearly impossible to refuse. As RJ and Zende forge this powerful new alliance, a completely different kind of drama is unfolding behind closed doors. One that threatens to destroy multiple lives and shatter the foundational trust of two marriages. The return of Daphne Rose Walton to Los Angeles marks the beginning of an agonizing emotional reckoning. Viewers will recall the utter devastation Daphne experienced when Dr. Lee Finnegan delivered a catastrophic medical diagnosis, severe infertility, and premature menopause. The news acted as a psychological wrecking ball, obliterating Daphne's lifelong dream of bearing children and plunging her into a deep, paralyzing functional depression. Convinced that her broken body was an insurmountable burden that would permanently deny her husband, Carter Walton, the family he so desperately craved, Daphne made the tragic, misguided decision to flee to Paris, effectively abandoning her marriage in a misguided act of selfless love. But distance and time have a profound way of clarifying the heart's true desires. During her agonizing exile in Paris, Daphne underwent a grueling emotional transformation. She realized that running away from the man she loves was a coward's response to a shared tragedy. Carter had repeatedly, passionately vowed that she was his entire world, that his love for her far eclipsed his desire for biological children. The realization that she had thrown away a profound, once-in-a-lifetime love out of fear and insecurity finally broke through her depression. Now, Daphne has returned to Los Angeles, stepping off the plane with a renewed sense of purpose and an unwavering determination to fight for her marriage. She is ready to face the painful reality of her diagnosis head-on and, more importantly, she is finally prepared to explore the myriad of alternative paths to parenthood, whether that be through in vitro fertilization, egg donation, or adoption. Daphne arrives at the Forrester Creations executive offices, her heart pounding with a mixture of hope and trepidation, ready to bare her soul to Carter and beg for his forgiveness. She is completely, blissfully oblivious to the apocalyptic betrayal that has just transpired in her absence. She expects to find a grieving, lonely husband who will welcome her back with open arms. Instead, she is walking into a psychological minefield. The man she loves, the man renowned throughout Los Angeles for his unshakable integrity and moral compass, has committed the ultimate sin. In the wake of Daphne's departure, a devastated and heavily intoxicated Carter found himself alone in the CEO office with a similarly traumatized Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Bonding over their shattered marriages, their shared grief, and the lethal influence of alcohol, Carter and Steffy crossed. A line from which there is no return, engaging in a passionate, steamy affair right there on the Forrester executive desk. The morning after this catastrophic indiscretion is a masterclass in panic, regret, and suffocating guilt. Carter, a man who has spent his entire life adhering to a strict moral code, is now drowning in an ocean of self-loathing. He truly believed that Daphne had left him forever, that their marriage was a casualty of her heartbreaking diagnosis. But that justification evaporates the moment Daphne walks through the door, her eyes shining with unshed tears, declaring her undying love and her readiness to build a family with him through alternative means. Carter is instantly paralyzed by an impossible, agonizing moral dilemma. If he confesses the truth about his night with Steffy, the revelation will absolutely destroy Daphne. It will shatter her fragile mental health, validate all her deepest insecurities about being inadequate, and permanently end their marriage. Faced with the prospect of breaking his wife's heart into a million irreparable pieces, Carter makes a desperate, damning choice. He chooses silence. He embraces Daphne, tears of genuine relief and profound guilt streaming down his face, and agrees to move forward with their plans for a family. He listens as Daphne excitedly discusses the possibilities of finding an egg donor or a surrogate, nodding along while a sickening knot of deception twists in his stomach. Carter is effectively building the foundation of their reconciled marriage and their future family on a massive, toxic lie. The psychological weight of this secret will undoubtedly take a severe toll on Carter in the coming weeks as he is forced to look into the trusting eyes of the woman he loves, knowing that he has committed the ultimate betrayal with one of her closest friends. Meanwhile, the other half of this scandalous equation, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, is navigating her own personalized version of psychological hell. Steffy's journey to this point has been paved with trauma, betrayal, and a spectacular display of hypocrisy. After discovering that her husband, John Finnegan, had hidden the fact that his psychopathic biological mother, Sheila Carter, was on his commercial flight to Monaco, Steffy completely lost her grip on reality. In a fit of explosive, self-righteous fury, she threw her wedding ring at Finn on the Monaco beach, declared their marriage over, and fled back to Los Angeles. It was this intense trauma and feeling of absolute betrayal that drove her into the bottom of a liquor bottle and, ultimately, into Carter Walton's bed. Now, Steffy has returned to the Cliff House, the scene of so many of her life's greatest triumphs and deepest sorrows. Finn, having frantically chased her across the globe, is practically on his knees, begging for her forgiveness. He is consumed by guilt for breaking her trust regarding Sheila, and in his desperation to repair their fractured bond, he overcompensates in the most agonizing way possible. Finn places Steffy on an impossibly high pedestal, constantly praising her unwavering honesty, her moral purity, and her fierce dedication to their family. Every loving word out of Finn's mouth, every declaration of her inherent goodness acts as a physical blow to Steffy's conscience. She is forced to sit there, listening to her husband venerate her character, while the vivid memory of waking up naked next to Carter Walton burns in her mind. The internal conflict tearing Steffy apart is palpable and devastating. There is a brief, fleeting moment where the crushing weight of her guilt almost forces the truth from her lips. She looks at Finn, seeing the absolute devotion and desperate love in his eyes, and she opens her mouth to confess, to shatter the illusion and face the consequences of her actions. But just as the words form, a paralyzing wave of fear washes over her. She knows that confessing to sleeping with Carter, a man Finn respects and a man deeply embedded in their corporate and personal lives, will not just damage their marriage, it will obliterate it beyond repair. The revelation would be the final, fatal nail in the coffin of the romance they have fought so hard to protect. Driven by an intense instinct for self-preservation, Steffy makes the exact same damning choice as Carter. She swallows the truth, burying the ugly reality of her infidelity deep within her soul. She hypocritically accepts Finn's apologies, graciously allowing him to believe that he is the only one who has sinned in their marriage. By choosing to hide her night with Carter, Steffy is actively participating in a massive, coordinated cover-up that threatens to detonate at any moment. She is projecting an image of the wronged, virtuous wife, all while harboring a secret that could destroy the lives of everyone she holds dear. The psychological dissonance of this double life is bound to manifest in explosive ways, especially as she is forced to interact with Carter at the office on a daily basis. As if the emotional stakes were not already high enough, the speculative rumor mill surrounding this storyline points to a truly jaw-dropping twist that could redefine the landscape of the show. What if this secret, passionate encounter between Steffy and Carter results in an unexpected pregnancy? The timing is incredibly precarious, and in the world of daytime drama, a drunken night of passion is almost guaranteed to yield life-altering consequences. If Steffy were to discover she is carrying Carter's child, the sheer magnitude of the crisis would be unprecedented. She would be faced with the impossible task of hiding a pregnancy from her husband, Finn, a highly trained medical professional who would undoubtedly notice the signs. This is where the narrative potential becomes truly diabolical. Daphne and Carter have just reached an agreement to actively pursue alternative methods of building a family, specifically discussing the use of an egg donor or a surrogate due to Daphne's infertility. If Steffy finds herself pregnant with Carter's baby, the sheer desperation to conceal the affair could lead to the conception of a masterfully twisted plan. What if Steffy and Carter orchestrate a scenario where Steffy miraculously volunteers to be the egg donor or surrogate for Daphne and Carter? Under the guise of a profound, selfless act of friendship, Steffy could carry her own biological child with Carter passing it off to the world, and to a blissfully ignorant Daphne and Finn as a beautiful medical arrangement designed to give the Waltons the family they have always dreamed of. The sheer audacity of such a cover-up is staggering. It would require Steffy and Carter to maintain a constant, flawless facade of platonic generosity while harboring the darkest, most intimate secret imaginable. They would be forced to watch Daphne excitedly prepare for motherhood, completely unaware that the child she is waiting to raise is the physical embodiment of her husband's betrayal with her close friend. Furthermore, Steffy would have to navigate her own complex maternal emotions, carrying a child she knows she must surrender, all while lying to Finn about the true nature of the pregnancy. Finn, believing his wife is performing a saintly act of surrogacy, would support her every step of the way, making the eventual revelation of the truth infinitely more devastating. This potential storyline represents the absolute pinnacle of soap opera drama. It weaves together themes of profound grief, desperate love, catastrophic betrayal, and the terrifying lengths to which human beings will go to protect their secrets and preserve their families. The ticking time bomb of this hidden affair, coupled with the potential for a secret pregnancy masked as a surrogacy arrangement, creates a narrative tension that is almost unbearable. As RJ and Zende look to the future of Forrester Creations with bright ambition, the older generation is actively laying the groundwork for an emotional apocalypse. When the truth inevitably claws its way to the surface, the fallout will not just break hearts. It will fundamentally destroy the Forrester, Finnegan, and Walton families, leaving a trail of shattered lives and irredeemable betrayals in its wake. The stage is set for a season of unparalleled drama, and viewers will undoubtedly be on the edge of their seats waiting for the inevitable explosion.